right, so India has reported its biggest single-day spike in cases after it reported 1,752 fresh cases and 37 deaths in just 24 hours itself. This is coming in as the total number of cases as far as coronavirus is concerned in the country has mounted to 23,452 and 723 deaths, as we were telling you earlier as well. Health Ministry has also told that currently, India has a recovery rate of 20.57% and nationwide lockdown has significantly helped. The government has also gone ahead and said that if there was no lockdown, the country would have had 73,000 cases. Meanwhile, the government's mathematical projection suggests that India could flatten the curve if the lockdown stays. In its projection, the government estimates that the growth trend will wean off by 16th of May, keeping in mind that doubling rate now stands at 10 days. With this particular estimation, government has hinted, and perhaps they must have dropped that big hint that a further extension of the lockdown perhaps is just on the cards. In a major relief, the MHA has now allowed shops selling non-essential items as well to resume business. This only applies to shops and marketing complexes in municipal corporations. The relief, however, is not extended to shopping complexes and malls.
लॉकडाउन का असर जो दिखना शुरू हुआ 4-5 अप्रैल से दिखना शुरू हुआ, वहां मैंने लाइन दिखाई है, क्योंकि उससे पहले वो असर दिखने से पहले हमें वक्त लगता है कि ट्रांसमिशन पे इफेक्ट होने के 10, 12, 14 दिन लगते हैं। तो आप देख रहे हैं कि उसके बाद स्लोइंग हुई है, और अगर आप देखें कि मैथमेटिकल मॉडल दिखाता है कि ये ऐसे फ्लैट होना शुरू हो रहा है, और आप ये भी देख रहे हैं कि अभी भी जो हमारी सेकेंड फेज है लॉकडाउन की, उसमें हम मिडिल स्टेज में है, और क्योंकि असर अगले 14 दिन, 15 दिन, 20 दिन भी चलेगा, तो हमारा ये असर मई के पहले से दूसरे हफ्ते तक भी दिखेगा।
कल से आज तक में 491 लोग क्योर हुए हैं, विच टेक्स की हमारी जो टोटल क्योर होने वालों की संख्या को 4748 लेके जाती है। इसके द्वारा हमारा रिकवरी रेट अब अप्रॉक्सीमेटली 20.57% है।
And Maulana Saad, the chief of Tablighi Jamaat, has opened up about several allegations that have been leveled against him in an exclusive interview to India Today. While holed up in Delhi, the chief of Jamaat has said that he has undergone COVID-19 test and is now awaiting results. He's claimed that he was in touch with the police and was cooperating in the probe as well. The Maulana, who has been booked by Delhi police for organizing a religious congregation here in violation of COVID-19 lockdown orders, but Saad has denied the allegation, saying he never broke any rules as the Markaz was held before the nationwide lockdown came into effect. According to the Maulana, the allegations of money laundering are baseless. He has asserted that all the donations to Jamaat are made voluntarily. While the Maulana is giving interviews, there are still about 200 Jamaatis who are still missing, and a massive manhunt is currently underway in many states across India. The confirmed cases of novel coronavirus in Tamil Nadu is over 1,700 cases, with the state reporting 72 new cases yesterday. Despite the rise in the number of confirmed cases, hundreds have violated social distancing and crowd outside Madurai collector's office to secure passes for the vehicles, throwing coronavirus safety measures to the wind. The very purpose of Madurai District Administration and police deciding to take the QR code route to ensure less crowds on roads and social distancing was defeated as people gathered there in large numbers. And even some cops could be seen standing as mute spectators as the crowd flouted the lockdown norms. In wake of the rise in cases, the state government has ordered a complete lockdown to be enforced in Chennai, Coimbatore and Madurai from 26th to 29th of April between 6 a.m. and 9 p.m. And a big scare in Karnataka's Ramanagara jail after 5 accused who attacked civic workers in Bengaluru's Padarayanapura on Sunday have tested positive. Police have arrested Total of 116 people. All of them were lodged in that jail after they attacked civic workers who had gone to quarantine some people who were suspected to have coronavirus. Janata Dal leader and former State Chief Minister H.D. Kumaraswamy has now accused the B.S. Yediyurappa government of endangering lives in Ramanagara, which is a green zone with zero COVID-19 cases. Here's a look at our story.
An attack on civic workers in Bengaluru. The arrest of 116 people involved in the assault and their transfer to a neighbouring district is having far-reaching consequences for Karnataka. Ramnagara had not seen a single coronavirus case till now, despite being close to the state capital, which is a hot spot. But the district has just lost the badge of honour. 5 inmates of the Ramnagara prison have tested positive for coronavirus, allegedly because of a lapse by the state police. The police had kept all the suspects in the Bengaluru violence at the Ramnagara jail. But they overlooked the fact that the accused were from the same locality where the civic workers had gone to quarantine people who were suspected to have coronavirus. Former CM H.D. Kumaraswamy and his wife Anita, who are MLAs from the Ramnagara district, are accusing the Yediyurappa government of endangering the residents of Ramnagara.
Ramnagaram basically that is green zone. No positive results were came from last 1.5 months. All people are very safe. Because of this bad incident, now people are panicked and danger started to even in Ramnagar. For that actually government even now they have to take proper decision.
The 5 coronavirus positive under trials are currently getting treatment while all the Ramnagara jail officials who interacted with them are in quarantine. The state government says all precautions are being taken.
5 people have tested positive out of almost 117 plus tests what we have done. And they have been shifted to Victoria Hospital, others are shifted to Hajj.
The authorities have shifted all the remaining accused to the Hajj Bhavan in Bengaluru. But the fear is it might be too late now that some of the accused have already tested positive.
The authorities have moved the remaining accused to Hajj Bhavan in Bengaluru, but the fear is it might be too late as some of the accused have tested positive. Nagarjun Vakanath in Bengaluru.
On Monday in India Today, investigation exposed an underground market of bogus PPE equipment popping up overnight. The centre has now swung into action, tightening controls for the manufacturing of PPEs as well. Here's a look at this India Today Impact Report.
On Monday, an India Today investigation exposed an underground market of bogus personal protective equipment popping up overnight. Fly-by-night operators churning out so-called protective gear in squalid workshops of Delhi and Meerut. Two days later, the Modi government swung into action. The Central Textile Ministry has tightened controls for the manufacturing of PPEs. The government has now streamlined the process for lab testing of safety gear.
The Textile Ministry has taken a strong cognizance and issued new guidelines now that state that a notarized affidavit will have to be submitted by the company that would be submitting these samples for a prototype. And the testing laboratory, HLL Lifecare, will be held responsible for the type of cloth material that is being submitted by the sampling company as well.
Carried out in public interest, the India Today investigation aimed to encourage hospitals to work through designated channels without getting caught in the net of middlemen. Responsible journalism followed by prompt action to keep the healthcare workers on the pandemic's front line safe. Bureau Report, India Today.
As COVID-19 continues to wreak havoc, scientists and researchers are now exploring various avenues to come up with medical treatments that can fight it. One such treatment that is in focus now is the plasma therapy. Delhi government has said it is proving to be a massive success. Here's a report.
$190,000 and counting. The global death toll of a deadly virus has sparked humanity's biggest race. Find a cure, find a treatment, find something to fight the COVID-19 fatalities. Now an old treatment is gaining huge traction. Not as the silver bullet that will fell a deadly virus on the march, but a possible stopgap treatment until a vaccine is found. The convalescent plasma therapy. The approach called convalescent plasma uses part of the blood that contains antibodies. Antibodies are proteins found in blood plasma that attack specific virus or bacteria like COVID-19. By giving these pre-made antibodies to a patient means they don't have to produce the same antibodies on their own. Importantly, these antibodies are procured from COVID-19 survivors, those who defeated the virus and formed antibodies against it.
It appears to have been effective in previous epidemics. There seems to have been some good effect during the swine flu, the H1N1 epidemic of 2008-2009.
As blood plasma is immediately available from survivors, many countries are already using the therapy in the hope to stem high mortality rates. Not yet proven, but seen to have positive impact, the convalescent plasma therapy has already been approved by the American Food and Drug Administration. In India, Kerala was the first state to start experimenting with this therapy. Delhi swiftly followed, and now Karnataka, Maharashtra, Gujarat, Punjab, Uttar Pradesh, Haryana, Telangana, and Tamil Nadu are all hoping to get positive results from it.
It will be very worthwhile to treat using this plasma antibody, that is convalescent plasma therapy or the infusion or transfusion, what we say. So I always felt that this treatment will definitely work in people who are critically ill.
Delhi has conducted the plasma therapy on 4 patients at the LNJP hospital after a coronavirus positive patient was weaned off the ventilator at the Max hospital with the use of this therapy.
4 जो मरीज थे उसमें से 2 मरीजों को मंगलवार को प्लाज्मा दिया गया था, तो आज 3 दिन हो गए उन्हें प्लाज्मा दिए हुए। वो दोनों आईसीयू में थे और मुझे एलएनजेपी के मेडिकल डायरेक्टर जो हैं उन्होंने बताया है कि शायद आज उनको आईसीयू से निकाल के वार्ड में शिफ्ट कर दिया जाएगा।
It is important to note that the blood plasma therapy is not the first line of treatment, which till now continues to be the use of hydroxychloroquine and other antivirals. Only if the patient is experiencing lung collapse and is on ventilator, the blood plasma therapy could be useful. However, in India, the efficacy is being questioned. The number of COVID-19 patients today stand at a little over 23,000. The number of recoveries just about a little over 4,700. Even if the number of patients on ventilator are marginal, the number of recoveries would hardly be enough to supply the plasma. Most recovered might not be medically fit to donate blood plasma, but the few that are might not be ready to donate. For example, in Mumbai, there are 500 recoveries. However, only 2 have come forward to donate. So until the world finds itself a cure, a vaccine, transferring immunity from those who fought in one to those who are fighting and struggling under the wrath of this deadly disease, could be that small silver lining in these bleak times. Bureau Report, India Today.
It has been a month since India is under lockdown now. Parents all across the country are having a tough time as their children are either glued to the TV screens or spending time in gadgets like the mobile and laptops. Here's our report.
The phone, is a child's best friend in these times. Spending time indoors in the lockdown, children and young adults are hooked to the screen all day long. Doctors, however, have a word of caution for both parents and children. Lying on bed for several hours, crouched into chairs, poor body postures and excessive screen time can have many negative effects.
Wrong postures, long screen time will ultimately affect their cervical spine, thoracic spine, and most commonly the lower back, the lumbar spine, apart from their shoulders, wrists and fingers, etc. Hence it is advisable that most of these children should avoid some time from the screen and should be encouraged by parents. The parents should take the lead to make them do exercises in a playful way.
Doctors advise physical exercises like jumping, squat, skipping, running and push-ups. Even mild yoga is advisable.
Excessive screen time causes both dryness as well as some amount of muscle weakness. The dryness is caused because when you're staring at a screen for a continued amount of time, it's like a partial hypnotic state, and that staring of the screen sort of reduces the amount of blink rates of the eye across the board for all age groups, not just children, even for adults.
With schools shut for now, most educational institutions are organizing online classes. Hours are spent glued to the screen and doing homework and interacting with a virtual classroom. Ophthalmologists are suggesting relaxing techniques for children.
Other things that you can do is a little bit of hot compresses on the eye, maybe twice a day. Nice hot compress with a cloth soaked in hot water put on the eye twice a day for about 8 to 10 minutes.
Children restricted indoors for too long can also begin to suffer mental health issues.
I think what we need to understand is that children would need stimulation. So what we as parents need to do is first ensure there is physical activity. Second, ensure that you have a lot of board games that you can play together. Bring a level of engagement to them, some fun, but you also need to appreciate that we need children to be positive. We need children to feel good and relaxed and have a routine.
Bureau Report, Pooja Shali for India Today.
The extended nationwide lockdown has left employees in several sectors extremely anxious. Salary cuts, deferred appraisals and layoffs have hit employees of several companies very hard. Layoffs in many companies across sectors, despite the Prime Minister's request to private companies to not sack people. Here's a report.
Massive layoffs, salary cuts, indefinite unpaid leaves. The coronavirus has triggered a new crisis in the Indian economy. The job crisis in India is getting worse. The Prime Minister's appeal to companies not to sack employees has not worked on the boardrooms.
अपने साथ काम करे लोगों के प्रति संवेदना रखे, किसी को नौकरी से न निकाले.
On April 7th, around 15 techies were laid off by a Bengaluru firm on immediate basis, citing the COVID crisis.
At the time of pandemic, I have been fired from the company. The reason for me terminating from the company was the COVID-19 pandemic.
Suddenly on 7th of April, we got a call, like 15 of us got a call telling that you have been fired due to this pandemic. Then they said accounts team will get back to you and they'll be giving you a final settlement.
The techies who were fired with a full and final settlement of 5,600 rupees have now written to the Karnataka Chief Minister. Big corporates too are not immune to salary cuts. Bajaj Auto, India's third biggest two-wheeler manufacturer, has asked its factory employees to take a 10% pay cut if production doesn't resume on 21st April.
Management ने हमारे सामने प्रस्ताव रखा, चाकन यूनिट के प्रतिनिधि जो यूनियन के प्रतिनिधि उनके सामने प्रस्ताव रखा फोन पे कि बजाज व्यवस्थापन कर्मचारी का 30% वेतन कम लेने का प्रस्ताव रखा है और उन्होंने एक्सेप्ट किया है। वैसा वर्कर लोग 10% वेतन कम ले सकते हैं क्या, और उन्होंने सब मिलके वो प्रस्ताव का स्वागत किया और हमने एक्सेप्ट किया.
Salary cuts are taking place across sectors. Vistara says 30% of its workforce will take compulsory leave without pay for 1 to 3 days, depending on employment grades from 15th to 30th April. People working in the aviation sector are now asking the government to intervene. They warn the current crisis could trigger a Kingfisher Airways-like scenario again. Bureau Report, India Today.
Hello everyone, this is Rahul Kamal here. Hope you enjoyed this video. For the latest news and analysis, like and subscribe the India Today YouTube channel and don't forget to press the bell icon to stay updated.